Hello and welcome back to Skill Builder Zone. Today we are diving into the Azure SQL Managed Instance, a powerful option for your cloud-based database management needs. Azure SQL Managed Instance bridges the gap between on-premise SQL Server and the cloud, providing the best of both worlds with minimal changes to your applications. Whether you are looking to lift and shift your SQL workloads to the cloud or modernize your applications with managed database services, this platform has something for everyone. Let's look at the key features. First, if you look at my screen, this platform offers automatic patching and version updates, making database management a breeze. It supports a broad set of SQL Server features, including SQL agents, service broker, and full text search, ensuring that most applications can migrate without changes. High availability is built in with automated backups and point in time restores, providing peace of mind. Now, how does this differ from your traditional SQL Server on premises? The major difference lies in the management and the scalability aspects. Azure SQL Managed Instance handles most of the administrative tasks for you, like the backups, the patching, and the monitoring, allowing you to focus on your applications. Additionally, it offers a fully managed, scalable environment with built in high availability, something that can be complex and very expensive. In the VCore model, you get these three tiers: the standard series, the premium series, and the premium series memory optimized logical CPUs. So these are the three options you have in the VCore model purchasing, and you can see the configurations of the CPUs that's available and the underlying storage that you get with each series. Uh, if you look at the service tiers, these are the service tiers available based on the storage architecture, space, and I/O limits. Uh, we have the general purpose, which is almost fit for almost all of the businesses. Business critical ones are for the low I/O latencies. For most cases, the general purpose one should be enough. Recently, Microsoft also launched a free tier called the freemium. So it's an exciting news for the developers and small businesses. This is a game changer, allowing you to experiment and develop with Azure SQL Managed Instance without the initial cost barrier, which can be a bit expensive. It's a fantastic opportunity to explore the capabilities and see how it can fit into your data strategy. So yeah, so let's start by deploying a SQL managed instance. We'll explore a bit more in depth of what it is and how you can actually connect to it, how you can start creating users, how you can uh, m- have a backup of the database without the automated ones. So we'll discuss all of these in our upcoming videos. For today, let's get started and let's deploy a SQL managed instance in our fresh subscription. So let's go ahead and spin up our SQL managed instance. This is my subscription, Skill Builder Zone. Uh, it, it has got some free credits. It's the free sign up that I have done. I've not used any of the credits, so it's all there. This is my resource group. It's an empty resource group. I'll be creating the resources here. You can go ahead from in the marketplace, and that's where you can get all the resources that you want. A quick type of SQL will give you all the SQL options that's available. You can either go from the marketplace, or you can go to all the services from the burger icon on the left top. So if you go on the left top, this icon, you should see all services. If you go to all services, then you can see databases, and from there you can see all the database options that you have in Azure. So the SQL database, the SQL virtual machine, SQL elastic pools, the SQL managed instance, and the SQL servers. Let's click on SQL managed instance and create an instance. So if I create on click on this plus icon, so I should be able to create a SQL managed instance. Currently I have got this free tier subscription, which does not allow to create a managed instance, so I'll have to upgrade. But let's see if it even gives me the option. This is the November 2022 feature wave status. If you use this, then you get the the simplified connectivity requirements for your instances. It's like the relaxed network requirements. It gives you fast instance creation. Earlier, it used to take around 6 hours to create a managed instance, but it has improved now. If you use the the new networking network wave, that was from 2022. Okay, so I can not see the banner to accept the free SQL managed instant option. Uh, that's because I do not have the paid pay as you go subscription. It's a free tier. I'll go ahead and upgrade my subscription. You don't have to do it if you already have a pay as you go or any other type of other than the free tier. If you have any other supported subscription, you should be able to see that option. So my account, my subscription is upgraded. That is very good. I can see my credits as well. So once upgraded, I should be able to see the free, the banner on when I go to create SQL Managed Instance. There should be a banner, the banner that you see for November 2022 feature. I should see a similar banner for accepting the offer for a free managed instance, which I am not getting. It should look something like this, but I'm not getting it because I've just upgraded, so it might take some time. Yeah, so before that happens, let's quickly see what's the limitation in terms of a free tier. If I scroll down, let me quickly, yeah, if I scroll down, it has got some limits. You can have a look what are the limits. It's like the 64 gigs of storage. That's one of the limitations. You can go and have a look at it in details. I'm still not getting it. I'm not sure why that is. I might need to refresh. The availability and support regions for the free tier, UK South is there, so I should be able to get it. I'm not sure why it is not the case. Anyways, let's wait for a couple of minutes. It should pop up. Okay. Why is it not popping up? Okay, let me go back. If I select the resource group, nothing changes. Yeah, last option. Let me quickly refresh this page. I hope it pops up. Yeah, there you go. I can see the ribbon, not the ribbon, the banner saying want to try SQL Managed Instance for free. Of course, why not? I don't want to pay 1700 bucks. So I'll accept that offer, and as you can see in the estimation, the estimated total is free, which is exactly what I want. Let's create a virtual network because we want to deploy our SQL Managed Instance into an existing subnet, existing virtual network. For that, let's create a virtual network quickly. VNet SBD UK SDF 001, that should be fine. UK South. Make sure the region is exactly where you want to deploy your managed instance. Next, we don't need any of this for now. Let's just go ahead. Yep, that should be okay. So in your organization, you might already have your virtual networks, so you will request a minimum of 32 IP based subnet for your managed instance. That's one of the requirements for managed instance. We'll quickly pop the basic requirements for your virtual network here in this video, so you can have a look at that. But for now, let's quickly create a subnet. Let's delete the default one. Let's create a subnet for our virtual Azure SQL Managed Instance, SNet SQL MI, and yeah, /24. That should be okay. So let's create that. Once our virtual network is created, we will deploy our SQL managed instance into the subnet that we have just created. We will get an error. Uh, However, we will get an error when we try to deploy in this subnet because the subnet is not prepared. You need to prepare your subnet before you can start creating your the managed instance. Okay, let's create the virtual network. The deployment is in progress. Once we have the subnet, we will create our managed instance. The deployment is succeeded. Let's refresh this. It's done. Go back to our virtual network. This is the subnet. It has got 251 available IPs. Even with /24, you get 256 IPs, but 5 IPs are reserved for Azure, so you get 251. Anyways, let's go and select the subnet. Let me actually refresh it because it doesn't show up in my drop down. I will again apply the free offer. Select the resource group, the managed free SQL MI. You can see the name that pops up automatically. I did not have to provide the name. UK South, general purpose. If you see configure, I don't have the option to configure anything because it's the free tier that I've applied for. So you get the standard Series 5, Intel Broadwell 5.1 GB RAM per VCore. So that's fine for us. If you can see, we get 720 VCore hours free per month, and storage is 64 GB. And you can't do much with the backup as well because this is the free tier, obviously. So the limitations come in. All looks good. I just wanted to show you the options, so that's why I clicked on this configuration page. In pay as you go, you will have all the options to actually change the configuration. Let's select an admin, Azure AD admin, and we are using only Entra ID based authentication, so no SQL based authentication. I just wanted to do that so I can show you where that option comes in SQL Managed Instance. And that's also a good practice to have only Azure AD or Entra ID based access to your databases. So that is good. If you see my screen, the selected subnet will automatically be configured for managed instance. SQL, it will create an NSG, it will create a route table, and it will also delegate that subnet to managed instance. So that's all of this can actually be done via PowerShell. We will be doing that. This is okay. Default option is fine for us. We have enabled the public endpoint as well. That's all right. So when you don't want your managed instance to be publicly accessible, you can just disable that, and you can do no access. But that's not the case for us. We want to see both of the options, and we'll show you how to disable that one. Even after creation, you can disable the public endpoint. Minimum TLS version, obviously 1.2. That's the latest, and that's what you should always have. Defender, we do not need for this. Identity, yes, we want a system identity for our managed instance, because we want to use that managed the identity for any sort of access or anything that we want to do. We can use that. Service principal, you can create a service principal from here. I'll also show you how you can do it after creation. It will give you an option to do that. TDE, transparent data encryption, is enabled with Microsoft managed keys, service managed keys. collation, you can find a collation that you want to have for your managed instance. I'll go ahead with the default one, but you can always, change the collation from here before you actually create the instance. Database level, you can always, whenever you create a database, you can change the collation, but for the service itself, this is where you do it. And after you create it, you won't be able to change the collation. So let's go ahead with the time zone is London. Georeplication, no. And yeah, that should be okay. Tags, yes, I mean, best practice always to give the tags, at least 3 of them. The owner, whether it's a dev or prod environment, so those things you can always do that. You should always have the tags properly done. It helps you in getting your pricing, and when you do your estimate cost analysis, it helps. So let's if feature wave is yes, that's fine. Yeah, it can take 6 hours to complete, but yeah, I think it should be okay. I mean, previous ones that I've done, it takes like 30-40 minutes. So let's go ahead and create, and the deployment is in progress, and I'm expecting it to fail because the subnet is not prepared, and that's what has happened. The template variable address prefix is not valid. Version does not exist. It is a provisioning state. Private link service network policies. And if you see the raw error, it is not much helpful. So let's go back to our Azure documentation for deploying a managed instance in an existing virtual network. If you see, as we said, a subnet mask of /27 is a minimum. See, because you need 32 IP addresses. These are your requirements for the subnet. If you see the notice, changing of subnet address range isn't supported when resources exist in the subnet, so it's better to use bigger subnets, which is fine. And this is how you deploy a managed instance in an existing virtual network. So first of all, we will need to validate and modify an existing virtual network. So it will prepare our virtual network or the subnet in specifically for our managed instance. Let's copy the script. We'll get all our details that we need. The subscription ID, the resource group name, the virtual network name, and the subnet name. This validation script, the preparation script from in PowerShell is specifically for managed instance, and it's available in Microsoft documentation. Once we have all of the details that we need, just the subnet is missing. The subnet name is SNET SQL MI. let's copy this. Now we are in our Cloud Shell. Let's paste the first part, the parameters. These are the parameters. And the last bit, the invoke command and the script block. This is from Microsoft documentation. Once that is done, it should give us the a manual approval kind of a stage. It will ask for us whether we want to go ahead or not. What this does is it validates the selected virtual network and subnet for SQL managed instance networking requirements. Then once you confirm, it will actually show you what are the changes that it is going to make, and you'll have to confirm, and then it will go ahead and prepare your virtual network and subnet. So it will ask for a consent. Let's go back. Let's make it a bit bigger. As you can see, it has popped us the things that it is going to do. It is going to create network security group NSG and associate it to the subnet. It will create a route table and associate it to the subnet and delegate the subnet to managed instance. If you see currently, if I scroll down our subnet and see subnet delegation, we do not have any subnet delegation. It is set as none. But after we give the consent and complete this script, we should see exactly the changes in our subnet. So these are the network requirements: the dedicated subnet, the subnet delegation, a network security group to allow the port 1433 and ports 1100 to 1199 to redirect connections, the route table. So all of these network requirements will be fulfilled after you prepare your virtual network. You need to make sure that there are no locks on your virtual network, because otherwise you won't be able to make these changes. So let's go ahead and click select Y, type Y and press enter. It is creating the resources. Subnet delegated to managed instance. Let's quickly verify. You can see the subnet delegation has been completed. So yeah, so this is done. Now we should be able to redeploy our changes for the the deployment. Let me select the resource group again. That's okay. Everything else remains the same. We don't want to change anything. Yes, all looks good. If you see the pricing model, it's called freemium, which is yeah, the free tier for SQL managed instance. Let's review and create. This is the template deployment from Azure portal. You can actually have the template, and every time you want to deploy, you can just change the variables, the parameters and the values in the parameters, and it will deploy a new SQL managed instance. The deployment is complete. It took 29 minutes. I have just fast forwarded this video because obviously I cannot bore you for 29 minutes just looking at the screen. So this has completed. This is our resource group. We can see all of our resources in this resource group, the virtual network that we earlier created. This other resources, the NSG, the route table, the SQL managed instance and the cluster has been created just now. The virtual cluster is actually the SQL cluster that gets created behind the scenes. If you click on that, it will take you to this place, the standard series Gen 5. And this is our SQL managed instance successfully created. So yeah, this is how you create it from the portal, and I hope you like this video. In next video, we will be connecting to this managed instance and do a bit of database administrative tasks. So thanks for watching and keep supporting.